If you want to have the perfect start possible in Crimson Desert, you are in the right place. As your fellow player who spent 40 hours in the game and wasted a lot of hours making mistakes, I will be giving 30 tips that will save you a lot of time and guesswork and help you avoid the common traps in the game. Like for example, you can force your way into stealing stuff at the very start of the game. This confuses me a lot since I thought you could pretty much do everything in Crimson Desert. It turns out that you need the bandit mask to commit the basic crimes in this game, such as stealing carts, raiding important chests in houses, pickpocketing, and more. There are 3 ways of getting this mask, and the fastest one is buying the bandit mask from Grimrock for just 10 coins. And you can find this goblin merchant in the southeast section of the town of Hernand, which I am showing the location on the screen right now. Or you can accept Jeffrey's bounty in the jail section of Hernand, and find this guy by finding his straightforward location provided by the bounty's poster to get the mask as a reward, or get it as a drop from bandits across the map that you can encounter. Now that you have the bandit mask, don't go straight stealing all of the stuff that you can encounter in houses and settlements. Stealing mindlessly will quickly drain your reputation points in a certain location. So make sure that if you decide to steal stuff, the item that you are stealing is worth the trade-off of your reputation. But hey Samurai, how will I know if an item is worth stealing? Well, it is easy to determine, since important items is often hidden or locked behind special chests or special storage. Special storage that requires you to solve mini puzzles to unlock. I hate to say it, but we are still in the crime department, and I am teaching you how to be expert on it. One of your main problems early on is that you are broke as hell, so you need coins to have access to good stuff that will help you progress more quickly in the game. Since you already have the bandit mask, the quickest way to get coins or money early on is to steal a wagon packed with valuable goods, parked at roadsides. Now there's a specific way of doing this, and the location that I am showing on the screen right now pinpoints the black market. What you need to do here is paying attention to the surrounding roads around the black market. So when you spot a parked bandwagon, you can easily steal it and turn it over to the black market. There are roaming bandwagons in the area as well, but I don't really suggest doing it since it will cost you more reputation points. And yes, the park wagons only cost 5 reputation points per steal, so it is worth the trade-off. If you already started the game, you will quickly notice that the inventory is the main enemy. The game loves to bombard you with millions of items when progressing. And of course, increasing your inventory slots should be your priority. And you can do so by completing side quests or commissions in key locations. Pretty much most of these quests are boring as hell, but they give you at least a medium bag that unlocks 3 inventory slots. Another way is buying small bags from town vendors, and each small bag gives you 1 slot. So make this buying habit and also completing commissions, and your slots will accumulate in no time. Inventory slots are limited as hell, especially in the early game. Make sure to discard all of your used recipes and book schematics that you've already read if you have a lot of silver coins already. If you want another source of coins, consider selling your unwanted items instead, like the learned recipes and book schematics. And as early as now, I am giving you the peace of mind that it is okay to sell them since they are all useless and pointless to store. Anvils and grindstones can give your equipment a temporary stat boost after you interact with them. The grindstone gives you weapons with more raw attack stat, while the anvil gives your armor more defense. Keep in mind that anvils and grindstones effects gradually reduce as you participate in combat, so it is wise to hone your weapons and armor before engaging in wide-scale battles or boss fights. Crimson Desert can already overwhelm players at the start of the game, especially when navigating through its main menu. At the very least, you could help yourself by clearing any further confusion by addressing other issues. If you are like me who is used to playing with a DualSense controller and constantly gets confused with the Steam's Xbox button mappings, you might want to check out and force the PlayStation button icons. You can do this by hovering through Crimson Desert in your Steam library. Right-click the game, click Properties, click the controller section, and make sure to disable Steam input so you can enjoy your correct PlayStation button mappings. And if you are getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me more than you can imagine. Or consider supporting us on Patreon or by becoming a channel member today, and I appreciate your support. Crimson Deserts follows the design of Zelda's Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, so expect that Pywell is going to be littered with puzzles to solve. Most of these puzzles requires effort to solve, and the best tip that I have for you is to make sure to use all of your tools available when engaging with the said puzzles. Like for example, a puzzle that took me hours to solve because I didn't realize that my sword was part of the puzzle, and I need to thrust a certain mechanism to turn it and to make it move. So when you try it yourself, make sure to try everything you have since most of the puzzle will require different abilities and equipment to be solved. And obviously, fast travel points can save you tons of time when going across the map. But aside from teleportation stones that you can find in towns and other key locations, I would highly recommend not neglecting your Abyss progress since you can unlock more teleportation stones in this way. But the main difference is that the teleportation stones in the Abyss can strategically be accessed as a better starting point when going across the map, since you do have an option to just access a certain location from the sky and glide your way through, rather than going on foot or when using mounts. Because of the sheer size of Pywell, it is very hard to pinpoint all of the important locations such as fast travel points or points of interest you can't afford to miss. But what you can do is to find an area that can give you an access to a high vantage point so you can use your sword glint ability to reflect a very special light. This will help you reveal important locations easily without a hassle. Not only that, but focusing your light from your blade can usually burn vines and other things that can easily catch fire. There are certain scenarios where you need to burn a flammable object just to access a certain mechanism, which in this case is a teleportation stone. Did you know that some of the waterfalls in this game host great items and useful gear pieces? Yes indeed, since most of them have secret areas hidden behind them. But the main issue is that you can't really go through these waterfalls very early on in the game. What you can do is to use your charge stab ability or thrust ability so you can pierce through the waterfalls and access the hidden caves. Do this in every waterfall with hidden areas in it and you will quickly gain powerful items, so enjoy the hunt. Ringing the bells in important location is your priority, especially if you have just arrived in a new zone. Upon ringing a bell, you will be unlocking a whole map or a significant chunk of the map of the new zone you are in, along with the map basics points of interest. It is hard to miss the said bells, since you can find them in major towns and locations, and not only that, some quests are tied to these bells, so don't sleep on activating every one of them. So you've ring the bell and unlock a whole new map, and suddenly you are bombarded with millions of locations to visit in your map. So for you to avoid getting overwhelmed, I suggest focusing first on the basic points of interest or the ones that are marked with a question mark icon. And most of the time, these basic points of interest hidden behind the question mark icon are your blacksmiths in town, key vendors, and key facilities that you need to unlock. When accessing your map, just access the tab that says Environment and your markers will be filtered down to the basic ones. You don't really need to worry about factions and their markers very early on in the game. So for you to not get overwhelmed as mentioned, unlock the basic points of interest first and work your way up. And since we are talking about map markers, your minimap can also reveal and lead you to important item locations, such as recipes and book schematics. But I want you to pay attention to special items when exploring areas. Special items are marked with a dot with slanted vertical lines. Getting these special items will allow you to have access to special effects that other equipment doesn't offer, such as unique abilities and more, so be on the lookout. Crimson Desert is heavily inspired by the Zelda franchise as I mentioned previously, and that series of games allow the players to have immense freedom in how they want to clear a certain objective or a puzzle. This may sound basic, but a lot of players don't realize that they are getting stereotyped with conventional means when completing certain goals. Like for example here, I was tasked to infiltrate this castle over here, and I can either wear normal clothing to look like a citizen to get inside the castle without a hassle. Or what I can do is brute forcing my way in climbing the walls and storming anyone that I come across. Especially you can almost climb everything in this game. So be creative in your gameplay, and the fun really starts if you don't really stick to conventional ways. Holding the square button when picking drops will allow you to continuously loot, rather than spamming the square button to get your item drops. This may sound simple and basic, but it made a lot of difference in my day-to-day experience, especially when dealing with a lot of loot. special equipment most of the time has Abyss gear slotted on it, and the cores or the Abyss gears makes your character builds truly powerful. These Abyss gears can provide special passives such as more damage mitigation, health regen per second, and a whole lot more. Like for example, the plate gloves of the Fallen Kingdom have Gourmet 1 Abyss gear, which increases food effects by 1, and adds Vitality 1 Abyss gear, which adds 0.2 HP regen per second. But keep in mind that you will be able to slot these Abyss gears on any different equipment pieces you want later on in Chapter 5. This can create intricate builds in the process, so don't sleep on this feature. What is the world of Crimson Desert without your trusted companions? Companions can cure your loneliness in your adventures and can also help you gather item drops from fallen enemies, saving you a great deal of hassle. You can unlock a companion by simply buying a lot of meat from the local butcher or vendor near you and feeding all of it to the dog. When the dog eats the food you give it, it will increase its trust meter and it will eventually join you when the meter reach 100%. You need a lot of Abyss cores when progressing your skill tree, but there's actually a way to save them. And it is by unlocking skills by watching and learning the movesets of enemies. If you pay attention to your skill tree, it will clearly tell you if a skill is learnable by just adapting it from enemies. And it is easy to determine if you can learn a specific ability from an enemy since the enemy will emit a bluish light, signaling that you can learn the skill. And yes, your horse has its own progression, and they gather experience when you pet them or when using them in the field. As they level up, they gain awesome skills such as drifting capabilities or double jumps, or even additional attacks while riding the horse. So you may want to take the time to check out all of the horses you can buy, other than your starter one. You can actually break down trees by using your force palm technique, or even using your turning slash to easily break them into 2 pieces. When mining, you don't really have to swing your pickaxe, but instead, use the turning slash to break ore deposits and collect your precious minerals. If you've already unlocked the force palm technique, you can reach ore deposits located in high places by climbing, and then breaking these minerals with your palm strike. When it comes to your skill tree upgrades, increasing your overall defense and spirit is no doubt a good idea. But don't ever neglect your stamina upgrade. Just like in the Zelda franchise, stamina gives you tremendous value in your day-to-day activities. If you have more stamina, you can climb high places much faster, sprint much longer, or even glide longer to reach places much quicker, especially after a long skydive. Crimson Desert offers a wide variety of weapons, armors, and accessories to experiment with, and I will surely cover them in a different video. But here are some of the best items you can get to have a head start. And there is a high chance that you have availed a deluxe upgrade, giving you a very good start when it comes to gear. One of the frequent questions that I am receiving is where you can claim the said items. You can easily claim the deluxe items after the tutorial section of the game by heading into your main menu, heading into options, then other, and then finally add-ons and claim your sweet deluxe items. But what if you did not avail the deluxe upgrade? The Kanta armor set is your earliest good armor in the game, not just in stats, but it does look great as well. The Kanta set is a significant upgrade compared to your starter set, and luckily, you can easily get this armor set, and you can do so by beating the Knight Matthias in the Duchy of Hernand, and you will never miss this encounter by just progressing in the main story. Once the fight is done, head to Ret the blacksmith near the Tavern of Hernand, and notice that he is selling Matthias armor pieces or the Kanta armor pieces. Buy them and enjoy the significant boost in stats and character visuals. Using the longsword that you can buy from Ret is already a good start. But what if I told you that there's an even more awesome weapon that you can get early on? And yes, the Wando Katana is one of the best earliest weapons in the game. This katana offers 19 attack to start with and is slotted with a whopping 5 Abyss gear slots. Comes with critical rate 1, stamina siphon level 1, and attack 1 for its Abyss cores. This is pretty overpowered, especially at this early stage, so you can enjoy the boost of power in your builds. Getting this weapon is rather easy. If you are following this guide so far, you already know where to find the bandit mask. Head to Grimrack's location, which I'm showing the location on the screen right now. Buy 2 keys from him and the bandit mask if you haven't done so. Head to the location of the Lion Crest Manor, which I'm showing again on the screen right now. Notice the nearby building beside the main manor. Enter the building from one of its windows to access the second floor of the building. Unlock and enter the storage room located on the second floor and use the key to open the chest and to get the sweet and awesome Wando Katana. Your food consumables are one of your main healing sources in this game, especially in the early game. So you need to make hunting a habit and get as many raw materials in the field since you can get enough of them when tracking animals. Better materials bring different levels of food in terms of quality. The higher the quality, the more HP a food provides. Or if you don't want to cook, you can buy food directly in your main camp when you unlock it in exchange for coins. But one of the easiest tricks in cooking raw material is toasting them with your focus light ability. And yes, it is pretty interesting, I know. You can just drop your raw meat, for example, and use your focus light to grill these babies, and they will be ready in no time. Palmar pills takes a vital role in combat as they can revive you with 30% HP when incapacitated. You can get these pills from various locations across the map, but of course they will eventually run out, especially if you come across a difficult boss. But Samurai, please tell me where I can farm these pills since I need them in my life. No worries about that, and I got you covered, my dear viewer, as you can actually have access to infinite Palmar pills given you have the materials to craft the said item. But first things first, you need to get the Palmar pills recipe, and you can do so by heading to the location on the screen right now, which is not far from your first major town in this game. There's a hidden cave in this location, squeezed in the middle of this rocky formation. Head inside the said opening and you will eventually find the Shadows Whisper Cave. Proceed to the inner section of the cave and you will notice that the nearby table has Palmar pills on it, the recipe itself. The base ingredients of Palmar pills are mostly herbs, but if you don't have them as of now, you can use your other raw materials as a substitute. These sub-materials are usually the ones you can farm in the field, like animal parts for example. So craft as many as you can before heading into a boss fight after you unlock the cauldron, and your chances of success will drastically increase because of the said pills. I can sit all day and tell you what's the best offensive skills to have early on, but if I can only pick one upgrade, I will unlock the Blinding Flash finisher as soon as I can. And of course, other awesome skills will be covered in a different video, so stay tuned for that. The Blinding Flash finisher is so broken that it allows you to gap close on your enemies at a lightning speed after blinding them with your Sword of Light, and then allowing you to perform a series of very strong slashes and finishes the action with a knockback aura. Take note that all of this is happening in a bullet time sequence, giving you the comfort of not getting hit while dealing damage. So it is indeed one of the strongest openers or the best skills in the game. Focusing light with your blade can burn almost wooden structures, so it is a low-key broken mechanic that you can take advantage of when storming enemy settlements. You can burn watchtowers or any important structures to have the advantage, while flying enemies can easily be staggered and knocked to the ground if you focus your light on them. Did you know that you can just hold the left bumper and right trigger buttons to perform normal attacks? And yes, this will allow you to string combos much more easily rather than smashing your buttons. This may sound simple, but this still turns my combat experience much more fluid compared to the traditional way. As long as you have the stamina, the attacks will continue relentlessly while you are stringing other special combos. That's a lot of tips to give you the perfect start in the game, and if you have more tips that I miss, share them in the comments. But what if you want to know the best early upgrades to even more overpowered? This video will teach you everything you need to know, so click on it and I will catch you on the next one.